This is why you need to know this simple VWAP setup, and more importantly, play it repeatedly. You can't just pick and choose when you want to play the trend, when you want to switch your setups. That I've been playing the same VWAP bounces all week long, and if you've seen my previous videos, those are out now. I took losing trades on Monday and Tuesday, but all before that, it was a full green week, so I can't just change my plan because I took a losing trade. So I want to go over my day here making almost $900 on just 2 trades, and they're simple textbook setups all on my ASFX TV strategy of Futures 2.0. You can get full access for free. Just click the link down below. But let's get into my first one. It was actually pre-market. But you cannot deny the clear bullish structure above our daily VWAP. So the daily VWAP is anchored from 6 p.m. Eastern, the changeover of day, that we're just keep on making higher lows all overnight. At midnight, at 3 a.m. in the London session, and that's where the money to be scalped long was made from. Even back here at the changeover, right? Obviously, I'm not going to trade those, but just seeing how well this VWAP is respected, then when we pull back there again, it's 7:44, so it's even still pretty early for my pre-market reads, but I'm at the desk. Why would I think this just flushes lower? What would be the catalyst for that when it's been nothing but buyers defending overnight? The overall trend has been bullish. That's why I got cooked on Monday and Tuesday playing longs, that it's still a bullish market. So I feel like we're going to probably respect this VWAP once again, and it's the previous day's value area high. So I put a stop loss, giving it room to play around this VWAP, because notice this is a clean touch to it. But even this dip below and back above, same thing back here, is ultimately a hold of VWAP. So you don't want to try to long it super tight and not give it any room, put a tight stop loss, because you'll get swept out and then miss the move that you wanted. So that's why I gave a stop loss back here at the previous higher low. Give it room, trade it up. It's a clean pop pre-market in 6 to 10 minutes, all straight in a vertical line. I'll take that. Thank you very much. So max profit, pretty close on one of those accounts. Then we head into the open. That's just a more zoomed in version of that. The clean setup, these are past ones. We'll get into that in just a second. So let's take a look at my long. I don't even have it marked up. Let's go over here on NQ, because that's where I take my trades. That was a clean day. The first lesson is going to be patience. Patience, patience, patience. That I know I want to be a buyer. I had just made money long back here off the VWAP, right? And notice how it came right back down before the open to the very same VWAP and popped up again. So you could have even scalped that. I think Austin did that on our pre-market stream. So clearly money to the longs, but we got to wait. So the open comes in. So once you guys go through Futures 2.0, like I'm saying on ASFX TV, it's free. Then tune into the live streams and you'll get to pair the two together. So you'll see that I don't really take my first trade within the first 15 minutes. I want to let the opening range set, which are these horizontal lines, the high and low from those first 15 minutes. But not even just that. This isn't even very recently, but more so recently, we're noticing that our best winners come after a side of the range has also been broken. So there is a long opportunity here if I move this over on the break above New York there, right? It's 944, so I guess technically the range isn't set yet, but it's pretty close. That if you long it there, right, you should hopefully still make money. But I did see a couple people put a stop loss right at the opening range low. And it's almost laughable of right to the stop loss, then right back up. That's very aggravating because you had a good read, a good price at the VWAP, just a bad stop loss and maybe a little bit too soon, right? But if we zoom it out, you do have these structure points to the left of like, give it a couple more points. So if you give it a couple more points to try to hold those, you do survive, but now maybe we're cherry picking. Who knows? But I didn't take this trade. I take the long once it now swept that opening range low. There's my break of the range. Now when buyers reclaim VWAP, now I want to be involved. And now I'll use this pin as my structure, saying, well, there's our breakout. If we make a new low from there, I don't know if buyers are going to be holding anymore. Get me out of my long. So now I like the trade even more. Now the setup, again, mid-range, stop loss at the bottom, take profit at the top. Pretty simple. So if you don't do anything there, and this somehow comes back and gets you a trailing stop loss, or maybe you moved it a little bit higher, whatever, or you bail on it because you were scared it was coming all the way back down, don't know what to tell you. Trade the plan mid-range to top range. You could always get out, get right back in. On the quick retest, you're probably not going to long it there because that's still moving lower, but maybe once it bounces, stop loss at the bottom of range still, and you get another strong pop. So there's 2 trades there, 2 winners. If you take this early one, you might, again, hopefully not, you might lose with that tight stop loss by 5 minutes, right? Give it a couple extra minutes. We had this all last week as well. That's what this markup was up for. If we go to Friday, here, this is on NQ, let's go to ES's version. If you buy it here on Friday, Clearly we're bullish, no? Longs overnight, pull back at the open. All right, we're probably going to form a higher low because we're above this daily VWAP. I want to look for longs. So you could long it here, but it's inside the range without a break. Keep that in mind. No side of this opening range has been broken. So if you put a stop loss at this opening range low to a T, just stopped out, then it gets back above New York, and then that one rips stress-free. That was Friday. This is literally 4 trading days later on a Wednesday. Picking up a pattern. And then let's go to ES here, because I know there was another similar lesson on that as well. Again, clean longs. But the first break here, the reason I don't take the first break either, or I don't trade until a side has been broken, is because that first break often doesn't really run anyways. So if I'm in a trade, I'm going to get out on the first break. So with that in mind, let's say you do have a stop loss at the opening range low, like that NQ idea, and you're in before a side has been broken. If you take the long, it breaks the opening range high. That's the exit signal. You're trading mid-range to top of range, even though it doesn't look mid-range. You're trading for the first break because you know the first break often doesn't run. And it doesn't. So if you get up here and it comes down and stops you out, again, I don't know what to tell you. That's not what the plan said to do. Or you let the double break come in, and then again, you buy it after that has swept everything out, and then you long it clean there. Now this one would be even more aggravating because this one probably does come right back to break even. If you long it where I did on NQ, stop loss at the low, let this pump up for 5 minutes, not want to close profits, stop loss to break even and get nothing. We had a couple people do that. Cannot be doing that. Take your money. You could always get back in here. Take your profits, move it up, stop loss at the low, trade it back up for the next higher high. You don't need to trade or hold that first trade forever. The market moves in waves. It's probably going to pull back to VWAP. You can find something else. So hopefully you guys are finding value in how simple the New York VWAP bounce is. But these little nuances of waiting for the range to set, waiting for it to break, giving your stop loss room to breathe. We could even go over a lesson here. I know ES turned into a pretty sideways mess, which is why it's even more important to try to capitalize on these and not mismanage trades so that you don't have to worry about trying to make it up in the afternoon, because what are you supposed to do in this mess, right? The clean opportunities were here, so make sure you maximize on it so that you're not making up for your earlier mistakes. Now, it does move back higher. It doesn't show in shorts, but pretty choppy before finally in the last hour makes that new high a day. NQ is a little bit cleaner. Still very sideways, but never even came close to New York. So higher lows for sure. Still here on the bottom, but definitely a chop fest. But a nice little rip at the end, no doubt about it. Now, one last thing, and maybe we'll go into one other markup. Here's the 15-minute. The reason I've been long in it all week, because look at this trend. All last week, higher highs, higher lows, new all-time highs, buyers are in control. So that's why I looked for the longs on Monday, but I just did it a little bit too high up here. Stopped me out first and then came back higher. All right, looked for longs here. We weren't ready to move back higher. We pulled back and now's the bullish day. So that's why you just keep taking the same setups. We found ourselves long it on the pullback days, and that's going to happen. We take L's, we bounce back the next day when it's trending again, taking the same setups, and you make your money back plus some, right? I think I was down a couple hundred and a couple hundred. Let's go take a look real quick. 168, but this one was 2 different accounts. So I was down 600 on that account, plus 400 on a different one. So down 600 on that, and then another, let's call it 4. So I'm down 1,000, and I made 880 today. So we're in pretty good shape with 2 more days this week. It could still be a very green week. One other markup I do want to look at before we end this. We went over this one. We went over that one. The New York VWAP. Take your trades after the first break of the opening range. Look how the first break doesn't run. Pulls back to New York, get your next piece of the trade. Goes a little bit higher, sure. Pulls back again to the New York VWAP. You could just buy it again and grab another piece of the move. So it's very simple, just trade with the trend, identify the trend first, but the VWAPs are telling you that, and structure is also telling you that. So hopefully you guys can make money when the days are clean, and when they're slower, choppy, or whatever, just survive. Don't lose too much like we did on Monday and Tuesday. Control the risk, but play the same setups, right? So if you want to learn more, like I said, head over to stream. Use code FIRST here on ASFX TV. You get all the strategy and all the live streams. So that's where I'm trading my top 1 futures account. So if you need one of those as well, check out the discount down below. But other than that, I'll see you guys on stream tomorrow morning.